All right, another type of problem that you might encounter when dealing with molarity is a problem that asks you for mass of the solute, or in some other cases, volume of the total solution. And a question that asks you for mass is really much more important, because if I'm going to make a solution, I need to know how much solute I am going to use. And I'm probably going to want to figure out, I'm probably going to know how much solution I'm going to make. So for example, if I'm doing a lab and I need 100 milliliters of a 0.1 molar solution of copper sulfate, then I need to know the mass of the copper sulfate that I'm going to use to make that solution. So, but in either case, for both these problems, if I'm asked for mass or volume, I'm just going to use dimensional analysis. And there's other ways to solve, but I find this is the easiest way to do this. So I'm just going to approach this like every other dimensional analysis problem. I'm going to start with my dimensional analysis setup. Then I need to figure out what this question is asking me for. So it's clearly asking me for how many grams of copper sulfate. So grams, oh, that was weird. Grams of CuSO4. And then I have to figure out my starting point. And that's where these problems can get a little tricky, because it looks like I have two givens. I'm preparing 100 milliliters of a 0.1 molar solution. In reality, I have to recognize that molarity is going to be a conversion factor. And again, if I go back to the idea that molarity equals moles over liters, then a 0.1 molar solution is equal to 0.1 moles over 1 liter. And that is a conversion factor. So if that's a conversion factor, then it's not my starting point. So now the starting point for my problem is going to be my volume. In this case, 100 milliliters of copper sulfate solution. And now I just need to use dimensional analysis to solve. So I'm going to look for any other conversion factors I need. Grams tells me I need a molar mass conversion factor. So 1 mole of CuSO4 has a mass of however many grams of CuSO4. And again, I'm going to add up the mass of each atom in there. So 1 copper plus 1 sulfur plus 4 oxygen atoms. Go to my periodic table, look at the atomic mass of each of those and add them all up. And it is equal to 160 grams of copper sulfate. So now I have my two conversion factors. I can go ahead and plug this in. This is milliliters, and this is liters. So I can't plug this in just yet. So I need one more conversion factor. There's 1,000 milliliters in 1 liter. That will get me to here. So I'm going to flip this one over. 1,000 milliliters in 1 liter. Now I can plug in this conversion factor. I'm done with that. In 1 liter, there is 0.1 moles. And I should be putting copper sulfate in there, but I forgot, so that's okay. And now I'll plug in my molar mass conversion factor. In 1 mole of CuSO4, there are 160 grams of CuSO4. So now all I have to do is finish my calculation, and that is equal to 1.6 grams of copper sulfate.